Paul Basolka, IB Masters Learning Center and IBMasters.com. And today we're going to look at the 14th question from Digital SAT Test 2 Module 1. This is from the Bluebook app. Number 14 reads, which choice most logically completes the text? So you want to pay attention to the whole passage, but especially the end. It begins, although military veterans make up a small proportion of the total population of the United States, they occupy a significantly higher proportion of the jobs in civilian government. Okay, so we start with although, showing contrast. We've got veterans. It's a small proportion of the total population, but it's a higher proportion of jobs in civilian government. Next sentence. One possible explanation for this disproportionate representation is that military service familiarizes people with certain organizational structures that are also reflected in the civilian government bureaucracy. And this familiarity thus what? Okay, so we get the reason right after. Military service familiarizes people with certain organization structures that are also reflected in civilian government. What about this familiarity? As soon as you see that, this familiarity, it must be the familiarity that was just mentioned. So it looks like military service, you're familiar with organizational structures, and that might be an explanation for why those guys and gals have civilian jobs in civilian government at higher proportions. The answer is A, make civilian government jobs especially appealing to military veterans. Well, typically what's appealing to you is what you're familiar with. So A looks like a great answer. We got to look at the other answer choices though. Answer is B, alters the typical relationship between military service and subsequent career preferences. I mean, yeah, but it's more general. Like answer choice A is more direct. More directly completes that sentence properly. Answer choice C encourages non-veterans applying for civilian jobs to consider military service instead. That doesn't have anything to do with it because you're familiar with the job, you're more likely to take it. That would explain the higher numbers. It doesn't have to do anything with non-veterans. Answer is D. So the familiarity increases the number of civilian government jobs that require some amount of military experience to perform. I mean, is it possible? I mean, maybe it's possible, but it's not stated here. It doesn't make exact sense because there's civilian government jobs that has nothing to do with the military. Answer A is definitely your best answer. So civilian government jobs are going to be especially appealing to military veterans because of this familiarity. What's the familiarity? The military service familiarizes people with the organizational structures that are also reflected in civil government. So that civil government structure must also be the same or very similar to what it is in military. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has difficulty with what most logically completes a text. If there's any question you'd like answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything and check out that 1-minute video on TikTok. Have a great day.